Hello everyone, Kerry the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here with a little project for you. Now, before we get started, thank you for all of the well wishes for my wrist. It's been approximately 3 weeks now, to be honest with you. I think this is my last day of wearing the wrist brace. Wrist is feeling a lot better. The ribs, a whole nother issue, but we'll deal with that another day. So, I was watching my friend Gayle Agostinelli the other day, and she did pocket paper clips for over the top of a page, and it reminded me that I actually did a version a while ago. So I dug out my book of ideas, and yes, in fact I did do them a little while ago. The thing is that Gayle did hers with book page, and yes, I will put her link in here because I think it's great to see as many different artists working as you possibly can. I did it out of a 12 by 12 because I'm a bit more of a mass make person. So I thought today I'm going to take you on a journey and show you how I do them. And then you can please watch Gayle, see how Gayle does them and see if there's something that you like between both of us and maybe something you can do your own. So first of all, we need a 12 by 12. Now, this isn't a full pad, it's become the tail end of a pad actually, but I wanted to explain a few things as I select the paper, because I haven't selected it yet. What you need to do is you need to find a page that has got an interesting multi-directional side to it. Now, I normally make all of them the same, but if you've got something that's good on one side and good on the other side, you could because you're going to make 6 of them out of a 12 by 12. It could be, or you're going to make 7 actually, I can't remember. 1, 2, 3. You might make 7 out of them. Yes, you make 7. Just out of body experience then, people. So you could do 3 on one direction and 3 on the other side and get a variation. So this is the sort of page I normally look for because, to be honest with you, I don't usually use this ephemera. So if I like that design, which I will make them all the same. Here is another instance. This isn't exactly my style, should I say. However, if I look at this, because I know that the strips I'm going to cut are 2 inches long, I know that I'm probably going to have sections of this, probably a section of this. It's a background anyway because I intend decorating them. This could be quite a nice choice because the stuff on the other side might work. Same with this. Now, this has got writing on it. So actually, if I pull one out, we're going to make. If you look at this, the piece is going to turn upside down here or upside down here. So you've got to be a bit cautious as to things that have got a direction, like the birds could end up upside down. But if I look at the other side, any bits that the bird is on, I could use this side instead. So it works for a variety of different papers, is what I'm trying to say. Well, that's quite a nice one too. I like things that are quite a neutral background. Actually, let's do this one. Right, let's take this one out of here. Now, this can be done with any 12 by 12, the technique I'm doing, but you could also do this equally as well with just strips of card. So this is House of Roses. This is the one I'm taking this out of. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the strips up and then decide which side I like best when it comes to folding. So right, so we've got our 12 by 12. Now I'm going to follow my own written instructions over here. So if there's little pauses, it's because I'm reading my own instructions. So first thing first, I use a guillotine. You can use a trimmer. You can use a ruler and pencil and the scissors, whatever you wish it to be. Now, this is the correct orientation for this page, 12 inches along the top. I'm going to take this down to 10 inches. So I have a 12 by 10 strip. I'm then going to take this bit down to 10 inches as well, because the strips we require to do these are 10 inches. This is the only bit of waste you're going to have, and to be honest, if you back that with something, that could be a little journal notelet anyway, so I'm going to put that to one side. Now coming back to this is 12, this is 10. I'm now going to cut, no, I'm not going to cut, well, slow the boat down, Griffiths. I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard, you can just fold it, but I get better results on this if I use a bone folder, a scoreboard. Right, so this is a 12-inch edge. I want the 12-inch edge down the side, and I want the 10-inch edge along the top. Am I in shot? I am in shot. Right, I now need to do some scoring. So I'm going to come in at 2.5-inch mark, and I'm going to score all the way down. And then I'm going to come in at, where's the other one? 7-inch mark. I'm going to score that all the way down. Okay, so that's all the scoring I need to do. I've now done without my scoreboard. That can go back to one side. Like most things I make, guys, I like to make simple. I like to mass make. I like to make things quickly, because the only thing I've learned in life probably is that time is of the essence, and if you're someone who makes journals to sell, the quicker you can make a journal, the more profit you're likely to make. So right, so I've got this done. Now I'm going to cut this into 2-inch slices. So 2, 4. Right, my 6 is a bit weird, so I'm going to cut it at 2 inches here. So I'm never quite sure where the 6 is. That mark isn't as accurate as they would lead you to believe. If I come back in, I'm now down to 4. And down to 2. Now there may be a little bit of trimming as we go along, but we'll work that out when we get there. Right, I'm now done with the cutter, trimmer, guillotine, whatever you're calling it. I am going to come back in one more time, because I just realised another mistake I made. I'm going to take the strip that I did, and I did score that at 2.5 and 7. So there you go. So now we've got the basis for everything ready to go. So I've got the 2.5 measurement at the top and the 3.5 measurement at the bottom. It's important to keep the orientation correct for this. Right, so 2.5 at the top, 3.5 at the bottom. I'm going to immediately put a thumb notch in here, purely because that helps remind me of where the bottom is. So I'm going to come in, and at the 3.5 bit, or if this is 1, this would be the 10-inch bit. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to take a little thumb notch out. If you don't have a round punch, you could get a button or a coin, draw around the edge of the coin on the end of the card, and just cut it with the scissors. Or you may decide that actually you don't need a thumb notch in yours. Completely up to you. Now, up to this point, I haven't had to make a decision as to which side of the card I'm using, which is good. Actually, it's nice to be using my thumb and not being in pain anymore. That's rather nice. I think the amount of painkillers I've taken have actually worked at last. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strips. We're done with the craft punch. Now, at this point, I'm going to fold them and crease them, but I'm not going to glue them, okay? This is the point at which I go, right, this is the side we're looking at. What does this side look like? That's actually not bad. I like that side as well. Let's have a little look at all of them and see which I like the best. Right, that, because that would be up and that would be down. That one could work upside down. That could work the other way up. Yes, that would work the other way up. That would definitely work the other way up. Not keen on that. Let's stay on that side. No, stay on this side. Right, how was this one? Decisions. I think we'll stick with this side. I like ivy. So, right, I'm going to do now is just fold this over. Make sure your edges are together or lined up. and then press it down with your bone folder and do the same with your bottom fold as well. Now, I always say that you should, when you score something, you score the valley to make it into, let's see if I can word this properly. If I've scored the valley this way, I would normally fold it to make it into a peak. But because we're flipping back and forth, it doesn't overly matter with this one, guys. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. So let's do this quite quickly. This works equally as well if you've got one-sided craft paper, because the inside is never going to be seen. So if that was white, you're never going to see it. Okay, just to give you options, should we say, because I know sometimes with some of those craft pads, they're only one-sided. Line that up along there. So how's everyone doing? I mean, to be honest, it's the end of the pad, isn't it? It needs a bit of a trim. To be honest, here in the UK, well, here in Wales, I can't speak for the whole of Britain. I'm not the Prime Minister. We are having some glorious weather at the moment. I'm like, okay, spring has definitely sprung, people. Spring has definitely sprung. More than happy about that. Spring and autumn are my favourite times of year. And that's probably because I quite like the cold. Although I must admit, I don't like the depths of winter, not because of the cold, but probably more because of the opportunities to slip and land on your butt, to be honest with you. I don't like the thought of falling. And after my last fall, I don't think I want to think about falling anymore. And in the summer, I don't like the heat. I know everyone else flocks off to the beaches. I'd flock off to Alaska, I can tell you. So that's just my input anyway. Right, I pressed all those down. I'm going to keep that round anyway. So this is the way this is going to look. Okay, so put the notch piece as if it's at the bottom. So make sure, as you can see, I'm a so-and-so for mass making, because my opinion is, why make one when I can make half a dozen? Or in this instance, I can make 7. Now, I'm now going to use one of these. It's a hole punch. Now, if you don't have a hole punch, just do a little snip. And what I'm going to do, this is the end that's got the scoop out of it. I'm going to fold my piece of card, and I'm going to measure this. I know you're all going to go, why are you measuring it? Because it's me and because I want to. I'm going to put a tiny little dot in the middle so I know where the centre is, and I'm going to come in, and all I want is just a little bit of a half moon. Can you see that? I'll try to get to the camera. As you can see, it's not a whole chunk. It's just that little tiny niche I've taken out, or notch out of there, which is giving me a hole. So I'm going to do that with all of these. Now, you don't have to do them the way I'm doing them. As I said, this is just the technique that I like to use. You can do these with other things other than craft card or a paper pad. As I said, Gayle did a fabulous job when she did hers out of book pages. It's a great one to use book pages on. If there's one disadvantage to using craft card like I'm doing, or craft pads, it's that they are a little thicker. I don't mind that because it's a paperclip pocket. It does mean that I can actually remove it completely. It's not stuck down in the journal. So if I think things are getting too bulky, I can literally get something taken out of there. Now, when it comes to gluing this lot down, which we'll be doing in a little bit, I'm not going to make you sit down and watch me glue every single one of them. What I'll do is I will show you one. In fact, I might show you 2 just to reinforce the learning experience. And then I will turn the camera off for a little bit and glue all the others down. Now, I don't know where I first saw this done. I'm absolutely certain it wasn't my original idea. It might have been someone else's idea and I played around with it and made it into something that was my way of doing it, but I very much doubt that I came up with this. I'm bound to have seen this, but This has been in my ideas book for quite a while, so I don't know how long, to be honest with you. Right, now we're going to get to the paperclip stage. Now I'm just using regular run-of-the-mill paper clips. You can get them in different sizes, you can get them in different colours. I would say depending on your card, the colour of your card will depend on what colour, whether it's rose gold, whether it's silver, whether it's just regular gold. It's completely up to you. Now, something I want to discuss about the paper clips, I'm not sure you're going to see it properly. The shorter side traditionally has a little kick in it, as in it scoops up. That's the bit that will go on the outside. The longer piece will go on the inside. So if I take one of these, now I have found that the paper clip is slightly wider than my hole, but if I just give it a little bit of a push, it slides in. So as you can see, the shorter bit with that kick in it is on the outside, the longer piece is on the inside. Now I do slide them up slightly because I'm going to hang charms off the end of these. So I will just put a bit higher, not too big, it doesn't need to be too big. And then I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. I do know some people that use tape, some people use different glues. I'm just using Fabri-Tac. I'm going to give it a good run of Fabri-Tac around the paper clip itself. And then I'm going to come in with the glue and I'm going to put the glue on this side of the flap. Now I'm using Fabri-Tac for this as well, purely because it's in my hand. And when it comes to the bottom one, I won't be using Fabri-Tac. I then press it down and give it a good squish with my fingers so it's all nicely in contact. Now, what I tend to do at this point, and it's purely unnecessary for you to do this, it's just me being overly picky, is I put a bulldog clip or some sort of clip onto the edge of them just to hold it all in place while I'm going on to doing all of the others. So I'm going to pause for 2 seconds and I'm going to put the bulldog clips, the paper clips into all of these, and then I'll come back and then we'll address the pocket on the bottom. See you in a second. So here we are, complete or utter carnage on my desk, but I like to use the clips just to make sure that the edges are completely held together as they're drying, and by the time I've finished the last one, the first one will be dry anyway. I would say, however, once these are completed, I do leave them overnight before I slide them into a journal, just because I want to make sure that that Fabri-Tac is completely and totally dry before I start putting any strain on that paperclip. So now, if you're someone who actually uses distress ink, this is the point at which you need to do just this bottom edge here, just because it's easier to do it now, and I'm just going to whip through these and do them. Even if I wasn't doing the outside edges in the future, I think this just defines that pocket a little bit. So there you go, that's that bit done. So right now I'm going to use art glitter glue. You can use whichever glue you feel is most secure. And I'm going to put a line at my shot. I am in shot. I'm going to put a line of glue down this edge and a line of glue down this edge. Now normally with art glitter glue, I don't need to hold them. I don't need to clip them, but I'm going to clip these because I'm not going to spend the time holding them when I can be doing them while I'm talking to you. Now, these could be done with card that you make yourself as well. So if you're someone who actually does gel printing or stuff like this, you could use your printed gel card, your gel prints to do this as well, which would add an extra splash of colour into any journal that you're working on. So there you go. So it's things like this, guys, that are just complete and utter stash builders. Complete and utter stash builders. Now what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to decorate one of these up for you on screen just so you can see the process, but then I might pause the camera and finish off decorating the others because I off screen and then come back, because I really don't want this to be a huge long video. I know you guys have always said you don't mind how long the videos go, as long as they're interesting videos. I'm hoping that all my content would always be interesting. However, I do think if it's just repetition of a process, then I don't really feel it merits recording the whole process. What I might do is I might say the first stage is to put page onto it. Maybe I'll put book page on one or two, and then I will go ahead, pause the camera for 2 seconds for you guys, put book page on all of them, then come back and show you the book page, and then do the next stage. I don't know. I'll see how it goes, and it depends. It depends on what it looks like at the editing stage as to how much I actually leave in the video anyway. I'm not sure I'll come to the very top of that one. So as you can see, it's quite quick. Now see, I don't mind that being an upside down rose. And the reason being because there's probably going to be something else put on the front of that. I mean, it could be a butterfly, it could be a flower, it could be a label, it could be anything I so choose. So this has actually now given you the base for your paperclip. So let's just put that on there, put the pin back in the glue. There you go. So if I now look at the very first one I've done, because that will be dry by now. So this is how I would make them, and then I would put these into my stash like this, because then I can decorate them as per the journal I want to use. Now in here is the pocket, which we've just glued, and I'll talk about the dimensions for the tags that go in there in a second or two. Well, when we come to that stage, I like to put just a plain small tag in there, purely because when I come to put it in a journal, I might want to put a single word on that. I might want to put nothing on there whatsoever. So right, these have had a few seconds. I know you're probably all thinking, Kerry, was it really worth clamping them? For me, yes, I think it is worth clamping them. So just want to make sure they're fully pressed down. Art glitter glue does dry incredibly quickly, I know that. The trouble is, I work very quickly, and in doing that sometimes I miss pressing all of the edges down properly. So by using the clamps, it means that stuff of mine very rarely comes undone. And I'll just press my fingers down just to make sure they're okay. Even the last ones I just put on are going to be okay. Now, something I like to do at this point is I like to look at my edges and check whether they're the same all the way down, because sometimes there's a little bit of glue comes out, or, as I'm sure I'm going to have at least one of them, when you're using the bone folder, yes, the bone folder for, what is the name of that thing? Putting the groove into it, creasing it. You will, do you know I can't speak, isn't that sad? Okay, there's a bit of glue along here. You sometimes find that things don't always fold perfectly. Okay, here's a prime example. See, there's a little piece of an overhang there. Scoring, that's that word. I knew it would come to me eventually. Sometimes when you use a scoreboard, depends on the flexibility of your paper. See, there's a little bit here as well. Sometimes the score makes the paper slightly curve, unless you're really good at checking when you're folding and gluing. Sometimes it goes awry. So these are the bases. So these are now all ready to go. And I think, look, really, where's the front on this one? Oh, there it is. See, this is why I like to ink them, so you can actually see them. So my next step is I'm just going to get in, I can't find the fronts, there you go. I'm just going to pull in some book page or just something generic. So let's just bear with me a second. Right, so I've got some pattern scraps here, and I'm just going to come in with some pattern scraps. I'm going to put a strip down each of these. Now, whether I do this all on video or not on video, not really sure. So just glue. I'm going to use Pritt Stick, my normal choice for this. So I'm just going to come in and see what needs to be where. Literally, I'm just building a bit of visual interest on the front. Now, you could stop the decorating at any point you wish, because you may not know which journal it's going to go into. So a lot of the time when I'm decorating, I will stop just before the piece is completed, purely because I can then finish it off when I've got the actual thing that I'm using, the journal I'm using it for. So just a little bit of book page on each of these. I'm quite methodical and systematic in the way I decorate, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen that in my work. It just speeds things up. And also people will say to me, but Kerry, that means everything's going to look the same. You could be right. But the thing is, not every single journal is going to have all of them in. So each of these may go to a completely separate journal, and each of those journals goes to a completely separate person. So they may never actually be seen together again. So it's quite quick, just sticking stuff down. I'm trying not to think too much, to be honest, because if I overthink things, then that's where I lose time, and they don't sort of take on an organicness, if there is such a word as organicness. So me and my English language, you think I'd be able to speak it, wouldn't you? So there you go. So just sticking these down. This is a great thing for using up scraps. Now, if you're someone who makes clusters and you've already made clusters, you could stick clusters on these. So let's see, well, that's something else that's a little more, what's this? Let's put a bit of that on that one. There you go. Let's see what's something else. That's a bit craft cardish. Let's have a quick flick through this. I'd have more stuff in here. It's all a bit thick. Sorry, I know I'm off camera here, but it just is what it is. Right, that's just a bit of little tiny bit of book page there. It's probably looks a lot older than I am, so that one can come on. And this piece here doesn't need a lot of it on anyway. That's a habit I'm going to have to get out of, isn't it? Oh, actually no, because I won't be wearing my wrist brace, so maybe I don't have to get out of it. I tend to use this part of my thumb to press stuff down with when I've glued it. I was just looking to see if I had any music paper in here. I'm not sure I have, to be honest with you. Oh, I do have. There you go. Let's see, a little bit of music paper. Let's just tear this down here. Oh, this is old paper. I can feel it. You know when that old paper's just got that feel to it. It's like if you treat it too roughly, you know it's going to fall to pieces. Right, just last little bit of book page. Let's fold that bit around the back. That's just not got enough glue. Let's just snip it off. I was trying not to cut wet glue with my scissors, but I'll just have to clean my scissors later on. So this gives me some of the basis for stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to go through and pull a few boxes of ephemera pieces, toppers and stuff out. And we'll see where we can get. See if I can finish at least a couple of these with you in front of me. Okay, bear with me. I'll be back with you in 2 seconds. So here I'm back again. Now what I've done is I've actually pulled out a few boxes of things that I use to create ephemera with, create projects with. So I'm just going to pull stuff out, and if I can remember where it comes from, I will tell you. If I can't, we'll just have to just pretend I don't know. So I'm going to pull out some of these. Now these are some things I had left over from a project collaboration I did with Rachel Bella Craft the other day, and I really quite like these. I think I like this one. Right, so this is just part of a kit now. I've got a feeling This digital kit might be called Botanical Elements or something like that. Not 100% sure. Rachel, if you happen to watch this video, feel free to drop the link to it into the comments for me, because I know I'm not going to remember to do it. So, oh, did I just hit you with my glasses? So just popping that on there. It's going to need more on there, but that gives me a starter on there. I did see a green one in here. Oh, I quite like that lavender one as well. That's another one from the same kit. I think I'm going to find it a home. So it doesn't take long if you've just got things to hand. I mean, I tend to not overthink stuff, which for me is an absolute miracle because I always overthink stuff. And I'll put that one on there like that. Now I know I'm going to need more stuff on there, but press that down. So that's 2 of them done. Right, we've done 2 of those. Let's not do any more of those. Let's have, so can you see I'm just thumbing through stuff here. I don't mind. Oh, what's that little purple butterfly? That's rather nice. I think I'm going to use that as well. And then we're going to put this box by and move on to another box. Now I'm just using my glue stick once again to put this on with. You can use whichever glue you choose, guys, whichever glue you choose. Put that up there across there. Press that down, so that's the 3rd one's done. Well, done at this point, so let's put this by. Now, let's pull in some tickets. Shall we see what tickets we've got? I've got quite a stash of tickets. Some of these, I believe, are also Rachel Bella Craft. I don't mind that there. I think a lot of the time, and especially me, I mean, I'm talking about me, not you, because I obviously don't know you. I overanalyze stuff so much that the only way I can get past that is actually to work quickly. So if you're thinking you work so quickly, Carrie, I do, and I do it on purpose, because if I don't, I'll procrastinate and then I won't get stuff done, and then before I know it, nothing has been done. I think some of these tickets are just a little bit big. Actually, this must be from the Welsh ephemera kit that would look quite cute on there. What if I put it on the other side? Oh, debating that one. I think this one will do. I think this was from a Welsh ephemera kit. Again, by Rachel Bella Craft. I seem to be favouring Rachel Bella Craft today, don't I? Right, any of these slips go into a basket, and that basket is used for book pages that are going to be recycled in some way. So that's that put to one side. Stick that on there. Right, 2 more to go. Right, I think we're done with tickets. Let's put tickets out of the way. What else have I pulled out? I've got some numbers and sayings. Actually, I wonder whether any of those will work. Right, I've got some. So I've got a whole mountain of boxes around me. I've got some of these I made, but I think they might. They're kind of just a bit too big. They're made out of little book pages that I packed onto coffee dye paper and used a serrated scissors around the edge. Let's see, this is what I was looking for. This is a combination of things, this box. These are bits of washi tape that I've actually backed onto pieces of coffee dye paper or book page just to actually make them interesting. Quite like that, actually. Which one of these will take that? Is that too much, do you think? Maybe with a bit of a wordle on there. Not my usual, but let's put it on there because you never know. It may be the next best thing I've done, and if I don't try, I will never know. And what have I lost? Nothing whatsoever. So let's pop that on there like that. As I said, that'll give me a little bit of room down there should I want to put a label on that. Did I just hit you with my head again? Sorry guys. I've got the iPad is directly in front of my forehead, so it's so easy for me to keep smacking my head on it. Right, I've got these now. I made these labels out of washi. No, I didn't. out of rice paper. And I like using these a lot. So in fact, I probably use them far more than I should. That's quite a nice one. I think with that one will do. Again, just sticking it down with a bit of glue stick. And I've got one more to go. What are you going to have on there, mister? Right, actually, I've got some of these little pictures. These are like miniature cabinet cards. Oh, you look miserable as sin. Let's put you down there. So, sorry, no insult to you. I don't even know who you are, but you're not the happiest looking person in the world. It's funny, someone told me the reason why a lot of people actually look miserable in the old Victorian Edwardian cabinet cards is they were always uncomfortable because of the clothes they wore and they were always hungry. I was like, oh, okay, that's a little unfortunate, but... So whether that's true or not, I don't know, but there you go. Right, so that's given me the first of an element on each of them. Now just having a little bit of a look, is there another element I want to put on any of these before I start to go smaller? I tend to work from bigger pieces down to smaller pieces. I'm looking at this thinking, is there another one of those pictures that I would put on? I don't think so. Some of these I printed onto matte photo paper, so they looked a little more like real photos, and some I just printed up regularly. No, I'm not loving that. Let's put those by. I might want to use the words out of there, however. Right, I think on this one I want some numbers. Where have my numbers gone? Okay, numbers. I've got printed numbers, stamped numbers, harvested numbers. Okay, more numbers. I thought I had more numbers. I do have small numbers. I thought there was a box missing. These are a combination. Oh, I couldn't tell you. I think some are maybe Tim Holtz. It's a bit blurry. It needs something. Actually, maybe I'll put a butterfly there. If I hit you yet again, so apologise. Right. I think this is a Tim Holtz piece, to be honest. Let's turn this around so I can get it at least semi-straight. That's carried the pink across at least. I don't mind that one there. My fingers are filthy. I do apologise, I've got glue stuck all over me. That's one disadvantage of wearing a wrist brace. I can't wash my hands as often as I want, because obviously the wrist brace will get wet. Now this is appealing to me, this. I'm wondering whether there's somewhere that I would like that. Maybe not. But I don't mind. Come out of here. There's a little number here that I really like the look of. This one, I think I'm going to put these numbers by, so I don't keep using the same thing. And I quite like that. I think that's going to go right across. I don't need to distress it. It's green anyway. Right, so I think all I need to do now is I think I want to put a few butterflies where I need a few butterflies. I'd like to put a few botanical labels on things, and those are normally, well not normally, they're going to be my Tracy Fox ones. Oh, I've just seen these little ones. Let's see what's in here. I don't really want to cover that flower up, but it needs to be covered up. It needs something on it. I couldn't tell you where I got these from, guys. I have absolutely no idea. It's funny. It's one of those situations where I'll know it when I see it. I think we're all like that, aren't we? It's a case of you don't really know what it is you want until you actually see it in front of you. Can't even tell you what that is. See, I'm thinking it needs to be... I'm thinking of a shape, or I'm thinking of square. Let's put that on there. It's probably not my most perfect choice, but it's going on there whether it likes it or not. Let's just lift that up so I can see it straight. Right. This one feels like it needs something, but I've got labels to go in a minute, so... Right, let's stop procrastinating with that. They can go by as well. So I've got some small butterflies here, which are from K2 Designs. I did do a video on those. And I've got some labels here from Tracy Fox. So between them, I know I'm going to be able to finish this off. So let's move all of those to one side and work at one at a time for me, because otherwise it will get too much. Oh, I wish that wasn't that wide. I'd like that on there. I think I'm going to do that across the bottom of there. Now, these are actually going to have dangles on them as well, so it does mean I don't have to decorate them overly much, but I do need some decoration on them. Is that straight? Well, it's a straight. Right, that one's probably finished, but we'll come back to it if it needs be. This one needs a something, and I think it needs something shape-wise. There's something round or hexagonal, or it just needs a little touch of something. These are a digital by Tracy Fox, which is Love Junk journals on Etsy. So I'm going to put that on there, and it's probably a combination of digital kits, to be honest, because I tend to cut them all and put them in one box. I know one was called Field Notes, and I can't remember the others, but Tracy Fox does some absolutely stunning labels, and I love her labels. So please go pop across there and check her out if you need to have any labels. Right, we're on to this one. Right, I like this idea. That's a natural history one. I've no idea how long this video is now, because obviously every time I pause the video, the timer restarts. So let's see if I can get it down to approximately an hour when I come to editing this. Right. This needs a little something. That's a little bit too little of something, I think. But that may not be. That will work nicely. Now, you don't have to distress ink the edges. That's just a personal preference. I like to do that with the stuff I'm sticking on. If I hit you again, goodness grief, Griffiths. I'm not focusing on what I'm doing, am I? That will be there. Just down to the last three. I think this one doesn't need anything. I think these two do. This is, I need to think about this one, because this is one that's going to be the tricky one, because this one's going to be an easy to do. Actually, maybe she works at a university in the Department of Botany. There you go. Let's make up a story about this young lady. After I said she was a bit unfortunate. Let's pop that label along there. Maybe she was one of the founding mothers of that science. So we just need to find this one, and then, as I said, I might pop a few butterflies on, purely because I like butterflies. Everyone to their own. Not everything needs a butterfly. Not everything needs a dragonfly. If it's your ilk, you could put a frog on it. Whatever you want it to be. I think I'm going to put something across there. Then it needs to be, I don't know why I want to cover the word Swansea up. Not that I'm ashamed of Swansea, it's about an hour away from me, I think. But I think if I have the word Swansea on it, it will make me think I can only use it in a Welsh journal, which is obviously not the case. Right, that's that done. That's that done. So I'm not going to put words on any of these. I mean, sometimes I put words, sometimes I put letters. I'm just going to grab some of these small butterflies and I'm going to look at these one at a time and see whether any of them need it. I think I would like one there purely because to me it's crying out for a butterfly. I'd quite like it to be that butterfly. Actually, this one wanted to come up. That's a bit too powerful. Can you see these? Yes, you can. These were a little kit of butterflies that were launched by a company here in the UK called K2 Designs. I did do a review on them, on the butterflies. I found them very, very useful, to be honest. They're already die cut, they're already done for you, they're already double-sided, so if you're someone who does like specimen slides, these are perfect for that because obviously both sides are already finished. So if I look at, let's pull this one up. So this is die cut. And if I turn it over, it's exactly the same on the other side. So if I had something I would see from both sides, then that's perfect. That's not perfect. Let's see what this blue one looks like. Again, it's not knowing which butterfly it is until you actually put it in place. Like that's the right butterfly for there. And not everything needs a butterfly. But as I'm just trying to quickly finish these off. Right. That does need something there. I would like it to be quite small. Or small-ish. And actually that would be it, I think. That little pink butterfly just by there. It's sort of hidden in amongst the rows. I like artwork you have to look into. See, that's just subtly in the background there, in the foreground there. Right, this one needs a bigger butterfly. This one needs a smack you in the face butterfly. Actually, that was my first grab. I'm going to grab that one. Now, if it bothers you that these butterflies don't have antennae, you can always get a permanent marker and just a fine liner and just put those in. That'll be fine. Yes, let's put a little one in that corner. I find these so useful. I'm actually considering talking to K2 Designs and seeing whether they'd be willing to do them in a neutral colour as well, like if they were coffee coloured and cream and whites and stuff, instead of just, well, this one doesn't need one, obviously it's got butterfly on it. This one already has, I feel that needs something. Let's have a little grab back of one of those boxes. Let's go back to this one. I just feel this one needs something up here. It doesn't need to be very, if I hit your head one more time on this iPad, I tell you. Really frustrating. I know there are, that might be it. That will be it. Botanical specimen 12810. I have no idea what that means, but guess what? It means something to somebody somewhere. And we're almost finished, guys. And what I'm going to do is, once I show you all the completed ones here, I have some other ones I've made, so I'll flip through and show you the other ones as well. Now, put the glue by. put the glue by. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you so chose, you could come around the edges with your ink pad and finish them off. Another thing I like to do is I've got a rounding punch. I like to take the medium-sized corner and just snip the bottom corners of these. It's a personal preference. Okay, you don't need to do this. You could leave them as they are. You could just snip them yourself with a pair of scissors. So I'm just going to quickly run around these. I don't need to do the backs. Doesn't bother me. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate how to make the little tags that go into the pocket. However, I have some already made. I will give you the dimensions of them because I know someone will ask for that. But it'll also depend on the dimensions you use to make these. I did debate making them in a variety of sizes. I thought I could make some wider and some narrower. But again, that's up to you and your preference. I like the 2-inch wide one because it means it's not dominant. It's just an accent piece on a page. And last one. Right, lid on the ink, ink out the way, over to one side, corner round it out the way, and this, and get the glue book out of my way before I put my elbow into it. So, before we actually do anything else, let's talk about the little tags I've used. Now, I've actually used one of my own digitals. The digital makes printed tags this big. I just cut them down. I just cut them down. I can print this as many times as I want. So I use an existing tag and I've actually just collaged on the back. The width of this is 1.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and I've just snipped the corners, and that's a perfect size just to slide into the pocket if I haven't glued it too tight. There you go. That's one. And this is why I didn't decorate the top, because the top of the tag just does a really nice job of covering that up. Let's get these out of the way. And as I said, I'm going to put charms on top as well. Now, as far as the charms go, you could use charms, you can not use charms. Not charms, dangles is what I'm going to say. You could use a charm, you could use a tassel, you could put nothing whatsoever. They don't necessarily need one on top. Go on, in you go. Actually, I haven't got enough of these, 1 second. So, let's just show you what I did. So I would just take one of these, the existing one. I would probably have cut this down on my guillotine, to be honest with you. I'm just going to cut the original tag down in size. Just to make it fit the pocket. But as I said, it's a digital. So if you own the digital, that means with any digital, just look at it as almost like collage fodder. You don't have to stick with what it's meant to be. You can always come in and change it up. Once you own it, what you do with it afterwards is completely up to you. As far as you're legally allowed to do stuff anyway, because I know there are rules and regulations on how you can use some imagery. So let's pop this into here. I also haven't got these on cardstock. These are on where it's pretty much one layer of copier paper and one layer of coffee dyed paper. So know that you don't have to make them too thick because they're just going to be there within for decoration. Right, and I did make a whole load of dangles for these, and my dangles are on bulb pins. That's B-U-L-B as in light bulb pins, because if you look at them, they look like a light bulb. When I first started, I thought everyone was saying bull pins, as in B-U-L-L, and I hunted high and low on the internet to try and find out what these things were. I never found them. And guess what? That's because they don't exist. Right, Let's put one of those through here and do you up. See, so that's just a nice thing to add to a journal. This would hook over a page nicely, and see the back is just as nice. Right, purple. I know there's a purple one in here somewhere. We'll take a look at the ones we've done, and we'll look at the ones I did separately. So you'll get to see all of them in a second. Don't know why I decided that one then. Let's just come off there. Okay, so let's take a look at those, and then I'll show you some I did the other day as well. So as you can see, we've just got a bit of a dangle, a nice over the pocket, over the page piece. So if I bring back in my idea journal, let's turn to a page. So the idea is that this would then slip over a page. The dangle would then hang on the outside of the journal if you chose it to. You could tuck something underneath it, or on the other page you could tack something underneath it. Why does this one keep falling off? I think I need to go in with the pliers. I think the jump ring on it is a little bit too open. Yes, it is. The jump ring's too open. I'll go in and repair that when I've got my... I'll leave that to one side when I've got my pliers with me. So that's the first one. Here's another one we've done. Another one. See, they're just nice little accent pieces for whichever journal you want to put. Like that would be nice for a fall one, even though butterflies may not be around in the fall. I mean, that's quite a neutral coloured one. I'm not averse to a bit of a neutral piece. It's a lovely one. I like the way the accent comes through, and ironically I have a butterfly on that one. This one's got an owl on it. She looks wise to me. And these are the ones I did the other day when I was doing some more for my own stash. So as you can see, they're just pretty little accent pieces, and I think out of one 12 by 12, you can make 7 of these. That's pretty good as far as I'm concerned. And it may be that it's a 12 by 12 you don't particularly like, but you know what? You can turn it into something that you really do. So hopefully that was okay. I will put a link in the description box to Gayle's video, which is the one that reminded me that I've done something similar in the past. Pop over and see Gayle. She does them at a book page. I've done them at a 12 by 12. I think that's the only links I said I'd put in there. I'll do my best to edit this so it's within an hour. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully that's inspired you to do something. I'm Kerry the Crafter. That's C-E-R-I the Crafter. Until next time. Bye-bye now.